Hello everybody, Jock12 back here again and with another Dragon Ball video. Yeah, surprise, surprise, I have another Dragon Ball video on my channel. It's going to be a very interesting couple of months considering that Dragon Ball is the big talk of the town, but for very specific reasons. For those of you who don't know, we had some breaking news that Toei Animation is officially ending the Dragon Ball Super anime in March of this year. Now keep in mind, there are reasons behind this. I do go into further detail on my channel. If you go to my channel, I have a video that came out. It's basically like my raw opinions on the ending of the series, and I gave generally all my opinions there on the eventual end of the show. So if you want to know that, you can go there. But basically, the general gist is Toei Animation's ending the show. Another anime is going to take on the time slot of Super, and the staff is going to focus on the new movie that will come out in December of this year. So there won't be any weekly shows of Dragon Ball content that we fans could enjoy or rave or rant about in the foreseeable future. And in the great scheme of things, I found it kind of interesting how the internet has been reacting to this news. Now, we have to keep in mind, Super is done for this year. However, what's going to happen after 2018? What's going to happen when Toei is completely done? When the dust has settled on the new movie, what is the future for the series? Will it come back, or will it be something completely and utterly different? That's been a question that people need to be asking because, let's be honest, Dragon Ball is very popular. They're making a lot of money off of Dragon Ball right now. So Dragon Ball's not going to go anywhere. They still got video games, manga, anime, and movies to do for the future. So it's not dying. Let's stop pretending like it's the end of an era. It's not the end of an era. It might be the end of Super, but there's still a whole lot more Dragon Ball to enjoy. So that's kind of like what this video is going to be. I guess the best way I can put it is that this video is essentially an open dialogue on the future Dragon Ball Super rather than its end. And on top of all this, what I really want to accomplish before I get into further detail is that for anybody who is viewing this video who is looking for some form of confirmation or some kind of literal news topic to go off on, that's not what this video is. This video is an open dialogue of a fan's perspective on what he would like to see for the future of the series. I'm not saying this is what Toei's gonna do. I'm not saying this is what Akira Toriyama is gonna do. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, this is not clickbait. This is not the official news. This is not a confirmation of what's happening. This is my opinion of what I'd like to see happen and what I think could happen after 2018's done and they're done with the movie. So let's keep that in mind. Now, overall, Dragon Ball Super coming to an end, and for the most part, let's just play devil's advocate here and say that, okay, Dragon Ball Super will come back under that banner. It will be Dragon Ball Super 2019. Let's just pretend and say that's going to happen. I have no problems with that. However, I think it could happen, and it could be even better than before. Let's be honest here for a second. Dragon Ball Super was plagued with a lot of problems in 2015 and in 2016. So the best thing that could happen for the show is taking the time to utilize the pre-production of the program. So that means that in 2019 or beyond, Dragon Ball Super could come back way better than before. And I think that's essentially the best outcome you can expect if you're a hardcore Super fan. Let's put it this way. The pre-production is very important to any series. And for Dragon Ball Super, it's been very terrible. So they can utilize that for the future. Not to mention the fact that there's other options that can happen with Super being off the air. First off, it means that Toyotaro can work on a lot of the original content. Toyotaro has proven that he can really do a lot of cool things outside of the anime. And even though he is not on par with certain storytellers, he is definitely a good proxy for Toriyama, and he works very closely with the man. So I really do feel like, let's say that Toyotaro has been given the reins, and the manga, once it finishes its Tournament of Power arc, it can continue to do original material. You know what that means? That means a lot of content that can be adapted for the anime. Toriyama obviously has very specific ideas. Toyotaro obviously is a fan, and he is known for his fan fiction writing. If you don't know this, Toyotaro, previously to working on Dragon Ball official content, he was a fanfiction artist. He was a fan fiction writer. He is a fanboy. So it just feels like in his head, I would imagine he has to have a whole bunch of ideas of a whole bunch of content he can come up with, which means a whole lot of material that they can adapt. So without utilizing the movie and rehashing that as an arc the same way they did with Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, they sure as hell can adapt content that Toyotaro does in his manga. On top of that, there's of course more dramatic issues that need to be taken care of, like the new voice actress for Bulma. Back in November 2017, we lost a big part of the Dragon Ball franchise in Hiromi Sudo. And as sad as that is, and as sad as that is for just not only the Dragon Ball franchise, but to fans worldwide, the show goes on. The show goes on and the character has to live on. So that definitely means that we have to get a new actress for that character. Sure, some fans have argued, oh no, there's some characters, there's some actors in the cast list that sound like her, that they can do that. I don't really feel like that's the route they might go. And in this specific time gap, I'm pretty sure if they haven't already, they're using this time wisely to try and find the new Bulma voice. So that's something that they're going to be focusing on, that I'm sure will happen in between. So that's going to take even more time. But with that being said, Dragon Ball Super, could it come back? I definitely see it possible. If the show comes back under the banner of Super, I'm perfectly fine with that, no matter how long it takes. However, if it doesn't, and they decide to go in a completely different route, I'm also okay with that as well. However, with that being said, I also want to discuss what I'd like to see come out of a new series, and in the future, post 2018. This might get a little fan servicey and might fan fictiony, but keep in mind that's basically what this whole video is essentially for. Dragon Ball Super did a lot of good, it did a lot of bad. I said that multiple times, let's not get into that. But now it's time to officially stop the Super stuff. Let's play devil's advocate and say Toei Animation, they're shutting down Super for good, and they're doing an entirely different TV series in the future. Okay, let's go down that route for a second. It's time to stop playing around, finally decide to go past the end of Z. It's time to officially 100% rewrite GT and do a completely different show. This is something that we've all wanted ever since Super even started, and if the ending of the Tournament of Power is essentially Goku and Vegeta defeating Jiren and it ends with Goku meeting Oof, let the end of Z be the setup to an entirely different show. GT tried this and it failed. GT is a very interesting project with a lot of great concepts and a lot of interesting cool ideas. It's time to take that, combine it with what you've established with Super, and finally do a new series that's dedicated years beyond End of Z. It's finally time to do that. And also, I want there to be completely new changes to the program. First off, it's finally time to retire Goku and Vegeta as the main characters. Now, I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but bear with me. Look, I get it. Goku and Vegeta, they're the face of Dragon Ball. They're the most popular characters, they're the most talked about characters, they have the most popularity and fan backing. They're the face of the brand, no doubt about that. But if I've learned anything from Super, especially this last arc, what can there be done with Goku and Vegeta that they can improve on or build upon? They become gods. They've established themselves as the pinnacle of strength, at least on a mortal level, in their selective universe. They've proven themselves to be the top dogs of most universes, and now they have come to terms with fighting side by side, trying to defeat their ultimate antagonist. And granted, Jiren is not a villain, but let's keep in mind, he is antagonistic, he is fighting on an opposite side of the spectrum, and of course, he is definitively the strongest character Goku and Vegeta have ever faced, who is mortal. What can you get after Jiren? After gods, angels, what can Goku and Vegeta accomplish after that? Once this tournament is over and Goku and Vegeta defeat Jiren, whether or not that is the actual outcome, because keep in mind this video is being uploaded before the end of this series and this arc, so I don't know what happens. But let's just say that that's the ending. What can Goku and Vegeta do? They've done everything they can. So it's time to not focus on them. And I know that's going to maybe piss off a lot of fans of those characters, but maybe they don't have to be the limelight. Maybe they don't have to be the main characters. You know who has to be? The characters that were underappreciated in this show alone, and of course in GT. Super and GT did great for Goku and Vegeta, no doubt about that, but they also screwed up on a lot of other characters that could have been just as great. Let's focus on them. This new show should be about what GT had potential to do, but never executed on that. Oob, Pan, Bra, Goten and Trunks, and Go. There you go. That's what you need to do. In my opinion, here's what needs to happen. They need to go back to old Dragon Ball. Goku needs to become the teacher. You establish him taking Oob under his wing at the end of Z. Let's see that go down. Let's not just have a one-off episode like GT did. No, let's see the teachings of Oob. Let's see Goku live in Oob's community, get to know each other, become master and student. We need to see that happen. We need to see the relationship be a relationship, unlike what GT did. Also, they need to differentiate their roles in this new series. What I like to see is Goku become the new Master Roshi, while Oob becomes the new Goku. Oob should be the new face of the series. If Oob is so important for Goku to leave everything behind and go and train him, there needs to be a reason for that. Let's see what that reason is. It definitely can't be a good fight. I mean, after what Super is established in this continuity, he's gotten a lot of good fights. Jiren alone is a lifetime of fights. Moving off of that, other characters. Vegeta, I feel like should be the same way. Same thing goes for Piccolo and Gohan. I doubt Gohan has any kind of real future in this series, but let's be honest. Vegeta and Piccolo are still going to stick around, so they need to take teacher roles as well. Piccolo's already, I guess you can say, established himself as a master slash teacher, so he can pretty much be the same way he was. Vegeta, however, I feel like could be a really good step beyond from what Goku establishes himself with Oob. He can teach Pan, he can teach Brawl. They can have their rivalry from time to time. Moving off of that, Pan and Brawl. Pan already in Super has established herself to be very important and very strong. She has potential. We've always known this from GT, but we never got to see it. Now with Super establishing Super Saiyans, female Super Saiyans rather, and the potential of female Saiyans. So let's see that happen. If Oob is going to become the new Goku, we need to see them be right up there with him. Now, this is kind of getting a little too fanfiction-y, but hear me out on this. I like to see Brawl take the place of the new Bulma, while Pan takes the role of the new Yamcha. Now, I don't mean she needs to be like a joke character. I mean Yamcha of Dragon Ball, not Yamcha the meme. I want to see Pan be the tomboy. I want to see her become this badass. Also, hell, maybe you can develop some form of inner relationships between these three characters. Hell, maybe you can even pull off some kind of Legend of Korra, KO and Khalifa kind of stuff, where you have Brawl and Pan kind of be together, the same way Bulma and Yamcha were. So that's just like me spitballing some ideas of like what I like to see these characters become. And of course, Trunks and Goten. I'd love to see them be teachers as well. I want to see them evolve. The show has already established, thanks to Super, the capabilities of power and godlyhood. What I'd like to see and what I think the show should go towards is really establishing a new generation of characters that's not so heavily focused on Goku and Vegeta. If you already gone to multiversal survival arcs of godlike characters beating the crap out of each other, you can't go any higher than that. Hell, maybe you could, I don't know. But once universes get destroyed because people are fighting each other, I don't think there's any higher than that. So, if you're gonna do a new series that's beyond that, of course beyond End of Z, things need to be smaller scaled. Scaled down everything, because these characters are starting at ground zero. Sure, they have potential, but let's not just give them all the power in the world just because of said potential, the same way they done with the Universe 6 Saiyans. Give them obstacles, give them reasons, opportunities, and stories where they can execute a perfect dramatic transformation that feels connected, the same way Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Gohan had to deal with in Z, and Goku had to deal with in Dragon Ball. Overall, that's pretty much all my ideas that I'd like to see in the future of the series. Look, Dragon Ball Super, like I said, it is coming to an end, but the future is not written off. Let's not pretend that there is no future for the series in anime form. Dragon Ball makes a lot of money and the popularity is at an all-time high. There is going to be a future for the series as long as they continue to make money and as long as we're still interested, which of course we are. So in the future, sure, can Super come back after the movie's done? That is a possibility. Will it happen very quickly? I doubt that, but I really feel like it could happen. However, if it doesn't, I'm okay with that, and I'd like to see a completely different anime series like I just mentioned happen. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This is like my unscripted open dialogue ideas of what I'd like to see in the future of the Dragon Ball series post 2018. I hope you enjoyed them. If not, keep in mind, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying that's what they're doing right now. I'm just saying what I'd like to see happen and what I'd like to see go down with a future anime series, with that, whether or not that is Super or an entirely new Dragon Ball show. So keep that in mind. And of course, I hope you enjoyed. Comment below and let me know what you personally think would like to what you'd like to see happen at the end of 2018 moving forward with the Dragon Ball franchise, and what kind of show you'd like to see. Would you like to see Super come back, or would you like to see something completely different? Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Josh12, and I'll see you all later.